How y'all doing?
Good.
Good.
All right. Coach Riley.
All right, yeah, great first day. Thought the staff, guys really attacked it. Was really impressed with the conditioning level, discipline of the team coming out of the summer. I know you guys are going to get a chance to talk to Coach True here in a little bit, but guys came in shape, ready to go. We're pretty healthy right now. I've got a couple of guys that are limited. Caden Chittenden's a little bit limited. Carlon, D. Reddick, Jacoby Lane, a few of those guys that by schedule weren't able to we didn't do the full practice. All of those guys will be fully available, here pretty soon in camp. So nothing even remotely close to long term in that group. And then Riley Wormley is still the only one that's still a little ways out, which we expected coming off his knee injury. But other than that, guys are healthy. Really good first day.
You mentioned the discipline just being different and noticing that. How much, in your estimation, when you hire a new strength and conditioning coach, do you expect, what sort of impact do you expect that person to have right away, or how much impact can they have?
Well, they're going to have an impact. I think it's just, how good a job can they do, and then I think it's, when you bring in somebody in that position, it's, why did you do it in the first place? What are the emphasis points? And obviously we tailored this hire around some of the emphasis points that we felt like were going to help our program continue to climb. I know we've discussed those already publicly, but I give Coach True and really his entire staff a lot of credit. Again, it's a difficult thing to come in with that short a time, not just put together a program. He's got to get to know the athletes. He's got to get to know the rest of the staff. They work hand in hand with nutrition, obviously hand in hand with sports medicine, equipment, learning the space. I mean, it's just a lot that's got to happen in a really, really short amount of time. And it's not like you got a whole spring practice period to work through some of the kinks. I mean, you're right in basically the Super Bowl for off-season training, which is your summer conditioning, getting ready for training camp in the season. And you got to be ready to roll June the 1st when the guys get in here. And so I think, he's done a really nice job leading it. He's got a really clear vision, and I think just kind of an approach that he has a lot of confidence in. He's had a lot of success with it. And then blending that with, our vision from a zoomed out level of what we want this program to be. He's had a great feel. He's done a good job relaying that to the staff. He's done a good job, being very consistent and very tough on our players, but also building relationships in a short amount of time. So, I've been super impressed with him and his staff so far.
What does Adrian Clem's role and what did you have him?
Yeah, Adrian was available and was a position that we had talked about. We've had a position in the past that's going to work with our defense, but more of an offensive coach background. And so we were actively looking for somebody in that role. It's tough. That's a little bit tough to find sometimes, but it was just one of those things where Adrian was available, and obviously had some familiarity with this place and some people on our staff, and we got a chance to connect with him, and it just made sense. So he'll work primarily with our defensive staff, but we're certainly going to use him in a few other areas as well. So a coach with his obviously his pedigree, his history. We're going to find a lot of ways to allow him to help the Trojans.
Can you talk about how the details of winning close games starts this morning?
It starts in every single thing you do, and that's been a big part of what we just discussed with the new strength program and just a few things that we've changed operationally about how we handle our players and what we require on a day-to-day basis. That's kind of those steps, right? And it's a lot of times as when you first kind of get started, you're just teaching guys kind of what this stuff looks like, and then they start really wanting to win and believing they can win, and then that's great. But then at some point that expectation has got to go through the roof where they know they're going to win and they know exactly what to do, and that's obviously a big emphasis point for us. All these little things show up throughout a game, and they show out throughout the year. And the better job that you do of being consistent and demanding that out of the guys, the better job that the team really accepts that and understands that every little thing is going to matter, the faster you become a championship team. I mean, that's the route to do it. So this team is hungry and eager to go prove that.
when we saw Jacoby Lane out there today, he was, constantly kind of critiquing, offering encouragement. So what does that type of energy do for the receiver room on the first day of practice like
Yeah,
this?
he's a high energy guy, and even though he is not full go here for the first couple of practices, his presence is important to this team. He is definitely a spark plug for this team and really this program. He's just one of those unique guys that his energy, like you feel it all the way across the practice field, and those guys are invaluable. I've had a few like that throughout my career that man, you don't always have them, but he's got a special energy about him, and we've challenged him even here in the beginning when he's not full go to make sure that he's still having an impact, and he's obviously taking that challenge head on.
Jaden threw deep passes at a higher clip than any of your starting quarterbacks
Yep.
that you've had before last year. Is that something that was by design, just given how comfortable he is, his arm strength, that sort of thing? Or is that something, do you expect that to be sort of a part of this offense this year, maybe more so than offenses you've had in the past?
I definitely do. I mean, ours relative to most places is pretty high. But yeah, it's fun to watch a guy that is that active throwing the ball down the field. I mean, he's accurate. He's got so much power in his arm. He doesn't require a huge pocket or a lot of room to pump the ball down the field. And obviously, we got some targets down the field that we really believe in, and we very much believe in challenging people vertically so that they know that element's always there in our offense. So, it fits in great. I mean, I love it. I love guys that are active down the field, and he's certainly not one that I have to push to do it, which is a lot of fun.
Where do you see one standouts today?
Well, obviously you're a little limited just because you're not doing a whole lot with the big guys. Not a whole lot of 11 on 11 big competitive work without pads. So I noticed Kennedy Urlacher made a couple really nice plays today. I saw him stand out. Chasen Johnson definitely stood out. So a couple guys in the secondary. Gentry was pretty active, which is obviously pretty normal. So yeah, I mean there was a lot of good. Obviously we'll learn a lot more when the pads come on.
Leadership-wise, what's the biggest difference with Jaden now when he came in last year?
I think he would say he feels like it's his team, and I think he knows the guys better. He knows what he's doing as a player better. It's just a much different situation. So I just think there's just a different confidence and kind of swagger with him right now in the way he plays, the way he interacts with guys, the way he challenges guys, uplifts guys. We've challenged him as coaches pretty heavily, honestly, to do it, and he's really responded. So that's great. Teams have to have that out of their quarterbacks, and he's intent on giving this team that.
Coach, in the past you've talked about having former players come back and being part of the whole routine. Mason Cobb was out here today helping out the linebackers. Is he on GA tryout?
He would be a good one. Mason's still pursuing his career right now, but he would definitely be a phenomenal one. But it's always great. We're going to have guys back here every single day throughout camp. Means a lot to us that they take their time to come do it. And we'll be even more cool is here in a handful of months we'll have a pretty cool place to house them, honor them, all of that with the Bloom Center.
Can any of the high school kids that arrived in June realistically have a chance to play this year for you guys?
Sure. Yeah. No, I think I wouldn't count any of them out right now, to be honest. I mean, there weren't that many, obviously, with us having so many guys that came in early. But yeah, I think, we'll get a look at the two young edges that came in, Ramos and Gus, because that's one of the positions in terms of the edge that, we don't have quite as many bodies as we do on the defensive interior. Obviously we'll look at, Romero, look at Tanuk, Harry, obviously the two young linebackers. We'll get a good look at those guys. So yeah, we'll see. And obviously and then RJ Sermon certainly. So I don't look at any of them and say like, there's no way. We just got to see. We know less about them right now, and so we've got to see how they progress through camp. But like from an athletic standpoint, every one of those guys could have a role on this football team.
Thank you, Coach Riley.